Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Let's talk Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl in the world of boxing. The Middleweight Super Bowl is coming up on the 25th of November, and that's going to be Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade versus David Mexican Monster Benavidez. That's the Super Bowl, y'all, for the middleweight division, because Super Bowl, we ain't talking about teams that just you people like the Dallas Cowboys. That would be Canelo Alvarez, for example. Something I said in one of my videos about a month ago that I consider Canelo Alvarez to be, for example, the fourth best super middleweight, right? And my reason is because David Benavidez, Andrade, and David Morrell is in front of him, right? And the reason I say that is because you got the eye test, you got the history of what's going down over the years, and you got the recent history. Canelo is going to do anything except fight those guys, anything, right? And I would put Demetrius Bivol in there, but he's officially a light heavyweight. He'll come down to 168 too, and I don't think Canelo would beat him at 168 either. So, Canelo is the guy that people like. These are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. And Canelo's kind of like they give him titles like face of boxing and stuff. But this is the match against two dudes who Canelo ain't getting nowhere near. And it's not just now, like forever. Dave Benavidez for 2 years and Demetrius Andrade for 10 years. And Demetrius Andrade is now a senior citizen, going to go up in here against young David Benavidez, who is so big that people say he's too big for Canelo Alvarez, but for some reason, little old Demetrius Andrade in his second fight at 168 is going to take him on. So those are things that we all know. Some people don't like when you say them, but you know how we roll here, and it doesn't matter. David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade is going to be a hell of a fight. Right? And here's the thing about hell of a fights. I like to say it all the time. When they're this significant, it really can't be boring, right? First of all, David Benavidez, I haven't seen in a boring fight, and I haven't seen Demetrius Andrade in a boring fight either. But, boring has different definitions for people, right? And every video, I don't like to get into it, but black fighters have a tendency to be in boring fights, because people are coming to see them get their faces bashed in. And if you're elusive and your face is not getting bashed in for some consumers, then you're going to be boring, because they would like to see you get bashed up. And you're elusive and you're not getting bashed up, and you're still hitting people back. And you're beating the hell out of them, like Demetrius Andrade over the whole years. Look at him. Look at his highlights, or look at the fights, and tell me what's boring about that. So it would only be boring for people who wants to see him get his ass whooped. So that's how that works with boring. So, gear you guys yourselves up for this extremely significant fight in the super middleweight division versus Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, because it doesn't matter what happens. And I'm going to say it again. I know I repeat myself sometimes, but it's the same thing like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. The fight is so significant that it doesn't matter if there's an early stoppage, a middle stoppage, a late stoppage, or a decision. The winner of that fight is going to come out looking like roses, unless it's a draw. And then they're both going to come out looking like roses. Bottom line is, the winner of that fight, everybody's going to know. It doesn't matter how. Everyone knows, whether they tell you or not. They always act, especially when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, they'll act like who has he fought. He's never fought nobody. This is going to be his biggest fight in 10 years, right? But stop acting like you don't know he's been trying to fight the very best that the boxing has to offer. If you're going to continue to call Canelo that, he's been chasing him over the whole world for 10 years. He's had everything that you would want. For people who say, what does he bring to the table? When you ask a fighter, what do you bring to the table? Then most of the time you're talking about, is he bringing some kind of belts to the table? Or is he bringing money to the table? Those are the most important things that you need to bring to the table. Demetrius Andrade has brought the biggest payday in Canelo's career to the table. He's brought belts to the table when he was the champion and Canelo wasn't. And he's brought undisputed in the middleweight division to the table. Canelo just won't come eat. You see what I'm saying? So you can keep saying, who has he fought? Gennady Golovkin, same thing. Jaime Munguia, the same thing. Jaime Munguia was this man's mandatory for 2 years and just refuses to fight him. So if the boxing world will continue to do those things, it should be illegal for that to happen in a sport. But it just does to this man, Demetrius Andrade. So he's getting a shot against the baddest dude in the 168-pound division, and it's going to be a hard fight at 35 years old. If this fight was, about 8 years ago, I would have Demetrius Andrade probably like 65-35. Right now, I say it's 55-45, maybe for David Benavidez. He's a young cat. He's got the endurance to come on late in fights. And he's a hard guy. It's gonna be hard to beat him for Demetrius Andrade. As talented as he is, but he is getting up, in age. But no matter what that is, it's not gonna be easy to beat Demetrius Andrade either. So this is the Super Bowl. So gear up, get your popcorn ready, get your families together, and check it out, because in boxing, it doesn't really get too much more significant than this. You can get some more popular guys. But most popular guys don't fight hard fights because they don't have to. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.